Hey, good guy people, what is going on? You are checking out a all new The RCWR Show. We're talking NWA Power for Tuesday, June 29th, 2021. You see your man over here is representing. I'm rocking the NWA Power shirt right here. Loving it, man. Loving it so far. I gotta tell you, all the shirts I was looking at the NWA website, hopefully they've done a better job with their inventory by now, because there was a couple of NWA joints I was interested in. I wanted for NWA to take my money, man. But every time I turn around, all I was looking for was an XL. And they pretty much was out on everything except for this particular size. So hopefully, maybe in the coming weeks, when I'm ready to go back in for another little grabby from their store, they'll have my size and everything. But you guys got to forgive me, a little bit of a late start. True story. I was getting some water. I hear some type of rattling downstairs as I'm making my way into the kitchen. I'm thinking the wifey is down there, and I'm having a conversation, and finally I just look up and I realize she's not there, yet I'm hearing some type of rattling. Long story short, I've got not one, I've got two birds in my chimney. Two birds are in my fireplace, which is pretty much connected to my chimney, and pretty much the only way you can open the fireplace, I have a glass door fireplace. So there's two birds just chilling there. So I have unwanted visitors. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know if I have to call the Humane Society or what, man. But yeah, so I had a little bit of a delay getting this started up for you guys. So apologies for that. Hey, solid NWA Power though. Solid NWA Power that they did for this week. So some interesting developments came from this. We saw the NWA Power TV debut for Lady Frost. We got a fantastic main event match between Melina and Kylie Rae. We also have found out about a tournament of some type that's going to be happening sometime in July. So a lot was going on here during this episode. So yeah, let's jump right into this bad boy. Keep it short, keep it sweet, keep it simple for you guys. So NWA Power episode 33 kicked off with Joe Galli, who announced that there is going to be a Champions Series that is going to be debuting on July the 13th. And if you're keeping track at home as far as what day of the week July 13th falls on, that's actually falling on a Tuesday. Again, it's going to be a Champions Series that's going to be debuting on July 13th. So I need to know more information about this series that's gonna be coming about, because I'm definitely intrigued and all of that, but it's like I need to know what's going on, what is up. So yeah, apparently it's going to be some type of a new point-based series that's gonna begin on July 13th. And Nick Aldis, the current NWA heavyweight champion, NWA Women's Champion Camille, they'll be participating in this along with other legends. And so, all right, so you got enough right there, but there's still a lot that's in the air right now, as it's unclear who else is going to be involved in this Champions Series. Otherwise, you would like to believe that the Pulp, D'Angelo De Niro, who's the current NWA World TV champion, and then Aaron Stevens, Kratos, let's not forget they're holding on currently to the NWA tag titles. So what's going on with that? So a lot of interesting developments with regards to that series. I'm sure as it gets a little bit closer, we'll know a lot more as far as our curiosity and all that, but it's all good. Commentated for this week, Velvet Sky, Tim Storm, Joe Galli, of course. Everything kicking off with our first match, Genocide, taking on, making her NWA Power TV debut, Lady Frost. So for some people, and shout out to those who I was hanging out with in our little private hangout, as we always do weekly, just quietly, just watching NWA amongst ourselves, chatting it up and everything. Some people were pretty taken back by her, pretty impressed with what they were seeing of her work and everything. And if you know your wrestling promotions like that, this is not for nothing. This is not the first time that we have seen Lady Frost in action. You actually got to rewind it back a little bit. And just to give you guys the cliff notes, to try to help rejog your memory a little bit, Lady Frost officially made her wrestling debut about 2017, 2018-ish. And she was on the independent circuit for a hot minute. She was doing some stuff for Rise Wrestling. She also did some stuff for ACW, IWA Mid-South. I think she might have held the RSW Championship at one point, possibly. So yeah, she was doing a little something out there on the independents. And then in 2018, she actually made her in-ring debut under the name Jamie Frost, and this was on an episode of Monday Night Raw where she had faced Asuka. So if she looks a little bit familiar for you WWE fans, now you kind of know what's going on there. You can also find her most recently doing some stuff for All Elite Wrestling. She did some stuff for them last year during an episode of AEW Dark. And she actually had teamed, of all people, so it's kind of fitting that we got what we got tonight, because in that AEW Dark match, she actually teamed with Genocide in a match against Diamante and Ivelisse Velez. And then she had an AEW singles debut a couple of weeks later on her singles joint, also played out on Dark, and she had took on Red Velvet in that one. So yeah, hopefully that kind of now got your memory jogging a little bit there. So the fact that she is loaning her skills, her talents to the NWA promotion, love it. I love it. This is good. Great match between these two girls, of course. I am a big fan of Genocide. I just look at Genocide, Jenna Van Muscles, and I just see this Amazonian beast type of a woman, and man, she's just badass. She is just totally freaking badass. So, you know, not for nothing, I saw a little bit of Lady Frost's stuff off and on. I also kept in mind the little bit of stuff I saw of her from AEW and also in WWE. So I also looked up her stuff online, mainly from the independents, and I felt that, okay, you know what, this is a pretty well-rounded woman and everything. Okay, yeah, let's see what goes on here. They clicked very well, her and Genocide. They clicked very well in their match together. Not that I was looking for any sloppiness or anything like that, but there was, and I have nothing but praise to give to both of these women. I was a little bit taken back by the fact, though, that Genocide ended up picking up the win in this match, mainly because this was Lady Frost's NWA POWERRR TV debut. And I just would have expected, especially since Taryn Terrell was at ringside and she was causing a little bit of distractions, a little bit of interference, and all of that. And I agree with Eddie. Eddie's also agreeing with me that she's a perfect fit for NWA Lady Frost, and she is. I mean, she fits that mold extremely well, Eddie. Definitely, without a shadow of doubt, she fits it very well. Weird though that we had her in-ring debut just pretty much you go in and you got your first defeat. I would have expected that with Taryn Terrell to be there at ringside, constantly causing the interference, that at some point maybe it was just gonna be, okay, you know what, the hell with this. She's getting too much of a, what's the right word I'm looking for? She's getting too much of comeuppance and all the fixings and everything on Genocide. Nah, this is too much. We're just going to back out of this. And then you kind of keep it going along between those two for an extra couple of weeks there. So I'm most curious to see what's going to be happening with Lady Frost in the weeks to come. I'm very, very curious to see how, I mean, look, she's still off to a pretty good start, because not for nothing, Genocide made Frost look like $1 million fucking dollars. She really did a good job, and you need to pay attention to this woman, right? because you could definitely make an argument that Genocide is possibly going to be, without a shadow of doubt, a future NWA Women's Champion and all. So, quick sidebar before we continue, let me know if you guys are experiencing any type of lagging issues or any type of buffering, because I had played around with my OBS settings last night. I saw that, I won't bore you guys with the tech talk, but it kind of seemed as though there were some aspects where I was kind of cheating myself on how much I'm putting out there when I'm streaming live. So I tweaked a couple of things, ultimately try to help the streams run even smoother. So let me know if that's working out all good. But particularly, I want to know if you guys are experiencing any lag or buffering issues, because if you are, I might be able to do some adjustments off the fly, because I may have miscalculated a little bit there. Later on during the episode, Genocide, or rather Saul Ronaldo was being interviewed by May Valentine. And apparently, you just couldn't, Saul Ronaldo grows on you, man. You just can't help but love Saul Ronaldo, that great underdog and everything. So we hear some really cool news right here, where Saul Ronaldo is going to get an opportunity to take on Pope D'Angelo De Niro for that TV title. And Saul is just over the moon in euphoria, because my man is like, man, all I need is 3 seconds. 3 seconds, y'all. That's all I need. 3 seconds. And I'm going to be the new TV champion. Can you believe that? So, I mean, yeah, he's in cloud 9. He realizes that opportunities like this for a guy like him doesn't come that often. May Valentine, extremely excited for him and this opportunity and everything. And they're with Danny Deals. Everybody's just enjoying this really awesome good feel moment when all of a sudden, wham, out of nowhere, he gets attacked from behind from Colby Corino. And Colby Corino is just laying it heavy in him, just beating his behind all around the ring. And you've got poor May Valentine. May Valentine looked as though she was getting ready to whoop Corino's behind, but it didn't pan out that way. What had me really tripping and just busting up a storm laughing was when she kept demanding security. You just hear her, security, security. like nah, they busy right now. They on their lunch break or whatever. This is part of the action. There's no way they're going to be coming out and everything. You can forget about that. I liked how Cal Davis kind of came from around the corner too, like he was going to do something, but he never did anything. Loved it. I just loved all those little things, man. For me, it just really made me go, I love this. But yeah, Colby Corino having his day with Saul Ronaldo, beating them all around the ring stage area and everything, getting some decent heat from the fans that were there in attendance, watching this TV taping play out. Poor Saul Ronaldo gets spiked on his head from outside of the ropes, outside the apron area, and just goes crashing down onto the floor. And he had officials and everything try to check him out, see if he was all right. We go right to a commercial break. When we come back, Cal Davis gives us the news that because of the actions that had played out, Saul Ronaldo was not going to be able to do that match with the Pope for that TV title. So he was about to make a special announcement as far as, okay, this is what we got in its place. I believe he mentioned Nick Aldis and Billy Corgan were working on something. And right when he was getting ready to make the news about what they came up with, Austin Idol Tyrus crashed the scene. And, this was pretty much Tyrus declaring war. This was Tyrus essentially, look, I'm the baddest man that's in the NWA right now. And, you want to talk about championship opportunities or just opportunities in general. You look at everything that I've been doing since I've been in the NWA so far. If anybody needs to be making a case for, hey, opportunities coming their way, well, Tyrus was the man that was coming to the plate and saying, what about me? Where's my opportunity? Okay, I see how we doing it. Y'all want to play with a brother? Okay, fine. We're going to do it like that. I'm declaring war on every single body. That's pretty much how Tyrus was coming at this. So Pope fighting man, fighting champion, heard enough, came out, challenged Tyrus to face him right there, one-on-one. You're hearing this, you're going, okay, all right, he wants a fight? Hell, especially if this is for the NWA title here, the TV title here. Yeah, go ahead. Why not do it? Austin Idol kept holding back Tyrus. He kept holding him back, and this match did not happen. It did not happen. So what a teaser that we got right there. So I can't wait to hear how Austin Idol comes back from this segment that played out this week. I would imagine Austin Idol is probably going to say something along the lines of, hey, one of my main responsibilities to my client here in Tyrus, I want to make sure that when my guy fights, even if it's for a title that's on the line, I want to make sure my man is getting all the money that's coming to him. So if Idol is maybe going to say something along the lines of, yeah, we'll fight for that TV title, but we're going to do this, I wouldn't be surprised. Two scenarios could either play out. Either one scenario, we're going to have this go down next pay-per-view, or maybe it's going to take place during this Champions Series that's going to be coming up July 13th. We'll have to wait and see how all that plays out. Continuing on, though, next up, we had our second match of the card, Aaron Stevens Presents. This was basically an exhibition match as Kratos and the Hawks, Luke Hawks, father and son, had teamed up to take on the team of Mims, Aaron Stevens, and Captain Yuma. Okay, little tag match for what it was worth. You could definitely make an argument that once Captain Yuma was tagged in, this is where it started to get rather comical, because I don't know how many of you guys were a fan of the Married with Children series, but when you see Captain Yuma, especially if you're seeing him for the very first time, and that was definitely the case for a lot of us that were watching the show tonight in our little live hangout, we're going, who is this guy? And I'm quick to point, I'm like, hey, he kind of reminds me a little bit of Bud Bundy there. Like, well, what's going on with this guy? And, you see him constantly saying he wants Kratos. He wants Kratos. You're going, this guy wants Kratos? I don't know, dog. I know you feel pretty damn good. You ate your freaking bowl of Wheaties and all that, but yeah, you ain't ready for Kratos, man. You do all the weightlifting in the world. You ain't ready for no Kratos. Seriously, yeah. Put that bass down a little bit, man. You got a little bit too much bass, but he eventually got what he wanted. He got Kratos, and Kratos just floored his ass. I mean, it was really getting comical here. But then Besta 666 and Mecha Wolf, they crashed the scene, and they did not like what they were seeing of this exhibition. You gotta keep in mind, it's an exhibition. That's all it is. This isn't it's for the tag titles. We need to do 5-star great tag team action. It was just supposed to be a nice, let's just do an exhibition. Let's see what you got. Let's fill each other out. Let's have something, nothing too serious, kind of laid back, right? But Besta 666 Mecha Wolf, they weren't feeling what they were seeing, and they had some choice words to say to all of those tag teams that was in the ring. They basically took shots at them, talking about, look, man, we've wrestled for all around the world for X amount of years now, and we come here to the NWA. We hear all these good things about NWA and all that, this tag division and all that, and what do we see right here? We get this silly little match. Like, you guys are making a mockery of our industry. You're making a mockery of the tag team division and all that, and we're not going to stand here for that. So Captain Yuka actually tried to get out of the ring. I don't know if he was trying to have a short exchange of words with them or what, but they pretty much laid his ass out, and all chaos had broke loose. Next thing you know, before Aaron Stevens and the rest of the guys could try to come to the aid of Captain Yuka and get in the faces of Mecha Wolf and Besta, they pretty much had made their exits. Notice, though, for those of you that did watch Power, notice how they didn't exactly sprint or just haul ass. It was just kind of one of those, okay, we did our beatdown. now we're just going to casually walk behind the curtains. You know, it's like, you've seen this in NWA a couple of times. And if I just had one message I would give to NWA writers and all that, look, just make sure the path is clear when it comes to opening up those curtains and running backstage, doing what you need to do. But let's just kind of have a better sense of urgency once somebody just comes in for a beatdown. Let's make sure that they quickly make their exit. We don't need to just see them whap, 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 and then, yeah, I'm pretty satisfied. Light up a cigarette and just casually like come on, we gotta take it easy with that. But I like where this is going. I like where this is going. I mean, essentially, you got Besta and Mecca that are pretty much putting the tag team division on notice that they are not there to make friends. They don't care about who's on their side or not. They don't care about any of that. They are there to make a statement. They are there to prove why they are one of the best tag teams that's out there in this industry. And they are looking to collect belts. And they are mean mugging the hell out of those tag titles right now. They are mean mugging the hell out of them joints. So they've pretty much drawn their line in the sand here. And to a certain degree, you can kind of understand where they're coming from. But make no mistake about it. We know who the heels are, and we know who essentially the faces are here, because Mecca and Besta, they're coming after those tag titles. And I honestly feel they are going to get those tag titles, but I think they will become the new NWA Tag Champions as a result of continued miscommunication, maybe to a certain degree, trust issues. But ultimately, you know what, man? This tag partnership that we had months prior, it started off really good. We were on the same page. We were in sync. But you're going in a different direction. I'm going in an opposite direction. That Kratos and Aaron Stevens, just everything that's been planted so far, worlds are going to collide. Shit is going to explode between those two men, and Mecca, Besta are going to be pretty much that ignition. They're pretty much going to be the ones that's responsible for really blowing that relationship up between Kratos and Aaron Stevens. So mark my words on that one. All right, we got our next, see what happened after that. Mae Valentine was backstage. She was chatting it up with Crimson. She was trying to get his thoughts on what went down with that match that he had last week with Slice Boogie. And Crimson pretty much saying, look, Slice Boogie, he's got a thing or two that he needs to learn. He's still a kid, and you're like, when you hear that, you're going, well, not for nothing, Crimson, but you look kind of young too, brother. For those of you that might be a little bit curious, Crimson is 33. Slice Boogie is 25. So, okay, almost a 10-year difference. But I'm sure that if you were to sit both men down, in actuality, they probably have a lot in common, right? But you kind of have to really just, okay, so as far as maybe just in ring, you kind of have to remind yourself in ring experience wise, right? Yeah, then for sure, without a shadow of doubt, Crimson has seen more of his share of warfare than Slice Boogie has and everything. But Crimson's whole message in this promo was Slice Boogie has a long ways to go. He still has a lot to learn. May also tried to get Jax Dane's thoughts about what happened last week. Because remember, he, if I remember it correctly, Crimson at one point tried to go for a steel chair. I remember bringing that up. It was either, wait a minute, let me think for a second. Somebody grabbed a steel chair last week on Power. I can't remember if it was, yeah, it was Jax Dane. Jax Dane had grabbed a steel chair. And I believe Crimson wasn't trying to, Eddie, let me get your help real quick if you're around. What was it last week? Was it Crimson that was trying to grab a steel chair? Or was it Jax Dane that grabbed the steel chair? It kind of feels like it was Jax Dane that maybe grabbed the steel chair, and Crimson was telling him, what the hell are you doing, dog? But May was trying to get thoughts about what happened last week, and Jax Dang was at a loss for words. He was choking up big time, trying to find the right words to say and everything. Honestly, between you and me, I'm not really sure how the hell he got out of that questionnaire, because all I heard was, and I'm not making fun, all I heard legit was, it's like, all right, dude. So, yeah, Eddie's confirmed, yeah, it was actually Jax Dang that had the steel chair and everything. The one thing that Jax was able to get out of his voice was he was just trying to be there for his boy. He was trying to represent. He always does his best to have Crimson's back, and he knows the feeling is vice versa and everything. So, yeah. Crimson wanted to hit Slice with the chair, but Jax took the chair away. Yeah, so what's going on right here? So you look at that particular instance, and it's almost kind of one of those monkey see, monkey do type of things. So I'm going to be most curious to see what's going to, if we are starting to plant the seeds there that eventually Jax Dane and Crimson are going to break up, what's going to make their ultimate rivalry different than what ultimately is going to happen with Aaron Stevens and Kratos, because we're almost taking the same playbook, it's just different characters. What's going to really make one stand out and differentiate from the other one? So NWA is in a really good position, well, not really good position, but it's kind of borderline. Let's be careful here, because we don't need this being too similar. You feel where I'm coming from? So homework for you guys this week, and we'll come back and revisit this next Tuesday. I want you guys to think about how in the coming weeks NWA could make what's going on with Jax Dane and Crimson and what could potentially be on the horizon of a split. I want you guys to think about how NWA could and should make it dramatically different from what's going on with Aaron Stevens and Kratos. And we'll come back right here and we'll bounce ideas off of each other and all that. I could go into it right now, but I kind of want to give you guys a little bit more of a week to really think about it, and then we can pretty much, and that way it gives me more time to pick off of you guys' brains and all that, and hear your ideas and pretty much go from there. Let's see, JTG talking segment with Cal Davis, bringing now Chris Adonis. They're going to be doing their match next week to crown a new NWA, not the World Heavyweight Champion, but they're going to be crowning a new NWA. I always get that damn title mixed up there. The NWA, what is it, the Open Championship or whatever. See, let me show the proper respect here, because I gotta make sure I show that title the proper respect, because I remember all the other goddamn titles, but that title I always end up forgetting the proper name of it and all that. So give me a second. I'm actually looking at the wait a minute, nope, hang on, give me a second here. Oh God. And then while we're doing that, if you guys been enjoying the show so far, make sure, if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that like button. That like button helps out tremendously, because when you do that, that pretty much helps YouTube push our content out more for others to check out. So do that. Appreciate that. And then we got one more. I'm looking at the champions list right now. Give me a second. National. I don't know why I always forget that. National champion. Yeah, because remember, it's vacant right now. So next week on Power, in the main event, I would believe, is going to be JTG taking on Chris Adonis for the NWA National Championship. So there really wasn't anything much here as far as the talking segment goes between these two guys. There really, really was not. It was just basically highlighting what's happening on next week's show. That pretty much was it. Heart-to-heart interview, May Valentine chatting it up with the mystery man, the Maxed Man, or Star Man as I dubbed him from the Fire Pro Wrestling series and all that. Interesting seeing the reactions for some of the people here about this. You had a lot of people that were going, who the hell is this guy? Who's this jabroni? You know, a lot of people thought he was boring or whatever. No, I actually dig the guy. I think the guy is pretty fucking cool. And I just kind of like seeing throughout social media how people are just working themselves up into a mental frizzy on who they think this guy is under the mask and all that. Some of the names I've seen so far, like some big, heavy hitting names too. And I'm just going, God, you're building yourself up like that. You may be setting yourself up for a disappointment, possibly, you know, just faking big names like that, like sheesh, you know. But I like this mystery man for what it's worth. Oh, May Valentine had the fucking line of this whole fucking interview segment, though. It was just kind of one of those, it felt like a Bill and Ted Excellent Adventure moment. It was one of those, or Saturday Night Live when Chris Farley used to do those series of interviews, those awkward interviews with folks. You know, you got May Valentine, she's kicking it off. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with a special guest, and you know, if I don't know your name, if I knew your name, you know, it's kind of one of those type of deals. It's like, okay, May, we got it already. He's the mystery man. Once again, not really much here you could take away from this, except mystery man is here on business. Mystery man is there to make an impact in the NWA. Once again, reiterating that the only person that knows his identity, knows any and everything about him, is Billy Corgan, because Billy is the one that signed him to the NWA. Now, I can't help but look at this and go a little deeper, go a little further, right? Because I found it rather interesting. I want you guys to think about this, because this is something new I'm introducing here. I can't help but wonder if ultimately Mystery Man is gonna cross hairs with Nick Aldis. And the reason why I say that is because, think about it for a second. Usually Nick Aldis has his hands, as he likes to proclaim, he has his hands on everything that's going on in the NWA. And yet, when it counts the most, we got this new guy that's on the roster. Nobody knows anything about him. Nobody knows anything about him. As he says, only Billy Corgan knows. Any and everything about this guy, Billy Corgan knows. Think about that for a second. I've got allergies, by the way, so I'm going to mute myself for a hot second, and I'm going to blow my nose. So bear with me a quick second here. This is that time, man. The hotter it gets, the more pollen. So you guys got to forgive me. Yeah, my allergies is, and I was outside for a little bit. So think about that for a second. You know, usually Nick Aldis is the one that he always has the advantage. Always. Because he uses ultimately the intel that he's able to have as one of the people behind the scenes in the NWA. He's always able to use that information that he's able to come across and use it to his advantage and everything. So I can't help but wonder, especially with the way it's kind of coming off, I'm really under the impression that ultimately this mystery guy is going to be the ultimate baby face. But to what extent? Is it going to be to the extent of him ultimately crossing paths with Nick Aldis? And then just kind of something to think about. I kind of feel as though I might be on to something there. Main event match. Kylie Rae taking on Melina. We did see a little bit of a brief cameo with Thunder Rosa, who was being interviewed prior to this. And a little bit kind of out of focus here. I was a little bit confused by this one because Thunder Rosa was pretty much talking about it, and I'll have to rely on you guys if I kind of understood this right. But she pretty much was saying, "Hey, Melina, you're my girl. I love you to death, sister. But you know this path that you're going on right now, it's a little bit too hot for me. I can't really." That was kind of the impression that I was left with, and if that's the case, then I just couldn't help but say, well, wait a minute now, wait a minute, let's pump the brakes a little bit. Melina, not for nothing, has had your back within recent months, and when it counts the most, like really? So that was just kind of weird for me. I would actually have to go back and watch that again just to make sure I really had understood what I saw playing out before me. I'll rely on you guys to correct me if I'm wrong about that in any type of way. Great main event match between Kylie Rae and Melina. I felt that as far as the 3 matches that we got here on Power tonight for this week, I felt this match really was magnifico. Really great ground mat game from both women. Great from both women. I cannot say enough about what both of these girls had did. I particularly got to give a mad shout out to Melina, because Melina went into this match and she made sure that Melina went into this match and made sure that Kylie Rae looked really good in this. Really made her come out of this looking like a bona fide superstar. And I mean, look, my advice to those that's booking in the NWA, if you see what us fans saw in Kylie Rae in the prior years, great. That's great. I don't know what was going on with Kylie Rae and the other promotions that she worked for. Whatever those respected reasons were, you know, those are respectfully her decisions. However, you have a very good group of vocal fans. As talented as she is, their main concern is, okay, well, she has this bad track record so far of just up and leaving a promotion after a couple of months. So with that stigma that is up in the air, and I would like to believe that, you know, behind closed doors, Billy Corgan, Nick Aldis, that hopefully that was something of a issue, of a concern for them, and they did talk with her and, you know, try to make sure they got some type of reassurance that, okay, as far as when you're booked, where you're booked, you're actually going to show up and everything, you'll fulfill your commitments. And, you know, they filled her out and they feel, okay, yeah, we're good. And, you know, if that being the case, then what they did tonight on this episode with Kylie Rae, that's how you got to continue to do Kylie Rae, because only week by week, episode by episode is how you're going to be able to chip away at that current narrative that's out there of Kylie Rae, and how you got some fans that look at her rather negatively, you know, and you can kind of understand where some of those fans are coming from. You know, it's, yeah, she's good, but she's always rolling out every time you know. So what they did with her tonight and having Melina be the one to really loved it. Great fucking matchup. I got no complaints about that matchup whatsoever. I mean, if anything, and I agree with Eddie. Eddie's like, hope she can last in the NWA. And it's that type of mentality that, and I'm not shitting on the fans that are thinking that way. I've honestly, when I first saw Kylie Rae pop up in NWA, I'm like, wait a minute, I thought she was having some type of personal problems that was going on. What the hell, right? Because she keeps start, pause. So it's like, me personally, I want to like her. I want to get into her shit. I want to root her on and all that. But start, pause. It's kind of like, but what they did tonight, NWA, you got to build from that. Just build from that. And I think over time, you will quiet those that are very I don't know, dog. You'll silence that. But this was very good. I love what they did right here. Safe to say, as far as this trajectory and all that goes, it's safe to say that ultimately maybe we'll see, because we're seeing Genocide. She's picking up her little wins here and there, and then maybe ultimately we'll see Kylie Rae pick up a couple of more dubs. Ultimately, we're gonna have to get to a number one contenders match to try to figure out, okay, so who's next? Who's going to be taking on? Who's going to be taking on the NWA Women's Champion and Camille? Right, so something to think about. And I mean, look, NWA is in a really good position right now, not for nothing, but by having Kylie Rae. Look, if you're a wrestling promotion, you would be a fool to not try to capitalize on Kylie Rae being part of your promotion, because at her pinnacle, with her trajectory and all that, I mean, fans were loving her. It was like the second coming of Bayley, basically. Some would say even better, right? When it was babyface Bayley and all that. So they're in a really good position right here where everybody plays their cards right. They could have themselves the ultimate babyface in Kylie Rae chasing after a Camille for the NWA women's title. And as I always like to tell you guys, the chase is better than the catch. And in the case of Kylie Rae, that would be the ultimate coolest chase, better than the catch. So we'll see how it pans out, man. We'll see how it pans out. But that was NWA Power for this week. Relatively solid episode overall, I would have to say. So we're gonna stick a fork in it. We're gonna call this DONE done. Next episode, I don't know yet. We're either gonna come on live Wednesday after Dynamite, or we'll come in maybe Thursday late afternoon. We'll talk NXT, we'll talk AEW, and sprinkle in some other news as well. Hey, as you guys get ready to make your exit, please, if you enjoyed this episode, it helps me out a ton, especially since it's free. Make sure you go out of your way and you hit that like button. Hit that like button right there. You do that, pushes out our content more to the YouTube algorithm team. Helps them out as far as recommending our content for other folks to check out. Especially those that, maybe they don't want to pay that extra money to check out NWA Power. It definitely, doing that, it helps push it out more so that at least those guys know, hey, there are some folks that's talking about NWA. Check this out if you're interested in this topic. So do that. It's free. Don't cost you a thing. Helps us out a lot, especially when you add in that retention time too that you guys are doing. I see you guys. You guys are representing. I appreciate it as always. So thank you to those that tuned in live. Thank you to those that's going to be checking this out on demand and on the downloads. We got a new NXT that's underway right now. Get at me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at the RCWR Show. I'll gladly interact with you guys throughout the episode tonight. Till next go round, wishing all y'all to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another, my good friends. I will see you next go round. Y'all take care.